I'm so important. My parents.
My parents would text me and call me. And like, did you get our text? I'm like, yeah, I just got it.
When I pull up, 2 subs in the back, playing all them old school tracks. When I pull up, no, you already heard. You ain't gotta say another word. When I pull up, they notice.
Welcome to another episode of Small Talk, where we talk to people in the local Vancouver industry doing super cool things. And I said super cool, which means it's a great segue to our new guest, who's also super cool, Steve Fisher.
I go by both. Yeah.
Correction. What do you prefer?
Steve, unless it's like my brother or my parents, and they call me Steven.
Do you have a nickname?
Fisher.
Fisher?
Yeah, really creative. I know.
You're director of all things awesome and designy over at TELUS down the street.
That's pretty close, and I think I'll update my LinkedIn profile for that.
Oh, good.
But no,
and I'll say like.
Yeah, you can say like, and then you can just keep going with it.
Yeah, the automated messages.
Yeah. But right now, I am the Director of Customer Experience and Digital Services at TELUS Digital, with a side of principal designer, which is what I was hired for. I focus in on research, content design, information architecture, and some of our digital services and standards that we do at this mammoth company over there.
Coming from your background of working in UX and design and everything else, how did it feel like stepping into the corporate door?
Well, I knew it was going to be something different.
Yeah.
I'd spent all this time consulting with different organizations, working with them, but I'd never really been fully in-house.
Yeah.
And so I saw that as a really great learning opportunity. It definitely has been like a flood of information, ways of working, all of that. We have a fun thing at TELUS Digital that's our botcronym. So we can put into Slack an acronym and find out what it is, because it feels like, I know, right? Those things are just constantly flying around. But overall, it's been like a really good learning experience for me.
I think the acronyms is like the number one thing. Like, what did you say? Like, I was making them up in my last meeting, and everyone was just kind of like, oh, yeah. And I was like, you don't know what that means, do you? Because I don't. So even just like being a little bit more inclusive and trying to explain like what do they mean and why are we saying that and why are we using it, that's such a great idea. I might yoink that idea.
Yeah. It's trying to, like, a big believer in plain language, helping people understand. Yeah. And so it was fun for like the first few months to be able to just say, oh, I don't know what that is. After a while, I felt like I should know what it is.
Yeah.
So it just got awkward then.
Yeah. I know the business.
Yeah.
Let's do some lightning questions, because those are fun and I kind of like them. What did you eat for breakfast this morning?
I had a Tim Hortons egg and cheese sandwich.
What was the last show you watched on TV?
Oh, it was the last episode of the Flash series.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, are you a Game of Thrones person?
Well, here's my secret. I stopped watching Game of Thrones in season 2. So I know. And so everyone's like, oh no, spoilers. I'm like, I don't think you can spoil it for me anymore. I'm so far behind. I won't have a clue what's going on.
You turn on Netflix and it's the story of your life as a 5-year-old. What is it called?
Steve has a bowl cut.
Amazing. Did your mom cut it herself? Or your dad?
No, I think they took me for haircuts. I used to have a lot of really thick hair.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore. But yeah, just anytime I see pictures of myself, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm kind of that cliche 80s kid.
How long have you lived in Vancouver for?
Almost 8 years. Yeah, this summer will be 8 years.
Where were you before Vancouver? Can I ask that? I don't know if I
can.
Okay.
You can totally ask that. I was in a tiny city called Lacombe in central Alberta,
yeah,
right between
that is.
Edmonton and Calgary. Yeah,
I'm Edmonton.
Okay.
Yeah, no reason to go to Edmonton.
Well, I grew up just outside of Edmonton, Sherwood Park.
Yeah. Okay.
But
suburb.
Yeah, I had opened my first business on my own was in Lacombe. I couldn't get hired to be like a designer or anything like that at the time. And I'd been doing some freelance work already, so I just thought, well, I guess I'll do my own thing. And then
what did you call it?
It's called Idea Market. So.
And who did you like? Did you have lots of clients? Like, was this?
Yeah.
Were you working online mostly? Like, this is fascinating to me because Lacombe Lacombe's small.
Yes, it is small.
Yeah.
It is small, and I just set out to do like some freelance work. But ended up having a small team of about 7 people.
Yeah.
And we focused in almost exclusively on tourism and government work.
Oh, amazing.
Not initially. Initially, it was like, yeah, I'll do your business card.
Yeah. You want a logo? I'll make it bigger.
But very quickly, I saw satisfaction in doing that type of work because it had impact on people's lives right away.
Yeah. You work at TELUS, but you also do a lot of other things in the community. And you're quite involved in the community and fostering specifically the UX and design community here. What kind of things are you involved with, and what kind of things do you do, and like, what kind of impact does that have here?
Probably one of the bigger things I'm involved with outside of that, though, is the conference I put on here in Vancouver, the Design and Content Conference. It's its 5th year this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. Which is like part of one of the things that I hope to see happen. A lot of conferences would start here and end after 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And I just always wanted something to be sustainable that was here and very Vancouver.
Yeah.
And so I help put that on. I produce it, set out to make a really inclusive, diverse, and open event that was sustainable too, that could not only treat people fairly, but pay all its speakers, all its vendors, everything. Like, everybody gets treated fairly. No one is asked to just give away their time. So that's the biggest thing I think that I'm involved with currently. I love it. It's probably my biggest passion within the work that I do.
When does that happen?
July 17th to 19th here in Vancouver. Yeah, there's still tickets available. I don't know if I can be that direct.
Yes, you can.
I just was.
You absolutely can.
Link is in the description.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is my favorite thing that I do all year long.
Do you ever get burnt out from organizing events or trying to participate or give back to the community? Like, do you ever feel like at some point, like, I this is a lot?
Yeah, I would say that I probably am burnt out, if I'm like just being transparent about my own life.
Yeah.
Because my current reality is that, you know, I work, you know, and then I work a little bit after work, which that part was normal to me, but the emotional investment within the community side of things and making a change, it's omnipresent. It's just always there. So even when the event finishes and I'm thinking about the next year, it's almost impossible for me to let go, to release certain things, which I think is a growth area for me. But yeah, for sure. Like, it is a lot, and it's a different type of work that I do other places.
Those people are always so valuable and necessary, but it's also like, how do we protect these people who are natural organizers and natural people you want to be around and are great for the community? How do you protect them from being burnt out and not really even enabling them to focus on the things that they want and want to do for growth, I guess? And so I asked the burnt out question as a result of that, because I feel like for anyone who organizes something, it's inevitable at some point, right? And how do you, like you said, you're burnt out, how do you recharge?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get better at saying no to some things.
Yeah.
It's just so easy to see every possibility and option and way of helping, you know, and so I'm getting better at saying no to some things. Not great.
Yeah.
But so that's one way. I have a dog.
Yeah, your dog's amazing.
Her name's Sloan. If anyone follows me on Instagram, you know that 50% of my photos are
beautiful
of Sloan.
Yeah.
And so just getting out with her is a big thing for me. Spending time with my kid, getting out with him, and you know, those are things that are definitely a big recharge for me. Anyone that, you know, impacts me with love, like spending time with them.
Do you have any advice for anyone who's like coming right out of school or just exploring their first kind of like jobs? Like, any kind of advice you'd impart?
Yeah, I don't know how to put this like in a way, but get connected to someone that you admire, you know, whether that's at your workplace or not. You know, connect with mentors in your life, people that you can see giving out positive energy and things to the communities around them. So this may not be like, if you're going into game design, the best game designer out there, but it may be someone that is fostering the community that you know will give some of that energy to you. I'd say that makes just a huge difference. And also just take a job. You know, don't have to wait necessarily for your perfect job. I think I was a big believer of this within university too. The advice I'm giving my kid right now too is to say, which they're almost in university. I don't know how that happened. One more year.
That's exciting though, because it's like, what are you going to do? What do you want to be? Do you
Yeah.
know? It's okay. No one knows.
A storyboard
Cool.
artist.
Oh, no,
That's
that's
very
very
specific. Yeah,
defined.
I know.
That's amazing. How rare is that though?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like one of the things that was holding him back was saying, well, I'm not sure I know exactly, even
Yeah.
though it sounds like he does now. Like, well, go to school, explore, learn.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
spend time learning to learn
Yeah.
from other people. The same is true in our careers. Just start to jump in, but like try to surround yourself with people who culturally will help you advance in
Yeah.
a way that is broad, you know, not just narrow-minded or something like that.
If you had like an alternative career, and qualifications didn't matter, what would it be?
I would be like a construction worker doing renovations to homes. Maybe like even an interior designer working like with some of that. I love that type of work.
Yeah.
I get great satisfaction out of it. Any home I've ever lived in, I've done a renovation on.
Yeah.
And when I lived in Alberta, there were just all these people that had like, that I lived around that had all these skills. And so
Yeah.
I would do a project with them at their place, then come back to my place, and we do a project together.
Yeah.
And I love seeing something created.
Yeah.
The work I do is great work, but it can take months, years, maybe never to actually see it. Because it's not something to hold on to as easily.
Yeah.
Oh, but when I put up a new tile wall in my kitchen, it's just right there.
Thank you so much for spending some time here in the garage.
I'm happy to have come. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, anytime. Absolutely. Doors open.
Okay.
Not
I'm just
right now.
gonna show up every day now.
Not right now. I was like, I'll make sure someone notifies me if that's the case.
Yeah.
And that's another episode of Small Talk. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon with another episode.